You are Locked On Ole Miss, your daily podcast on the Ole Miss Rebels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thanks again for making the Locked On Ole Miss podcast your first listen every day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcast, including YouTube. We are part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. Hello, I'm Steven Willis from the Locked On Ole Miss podcast. He is Bill Flowers, former Ole Miss legend, and together we make the Hands team and we talk Ole Miss sports every week during the football season. And Bill, before we start talking about this game against Kentucky, Matt Jones, a Kentucky Sports Radio personality up there, had this to say about Vaught-Hemingway Stadium. It's not very loud. It's not very big. The students are late arriving. Overall, it's not a difficult place to play at all. Your thoughts on that?
As a professional who's an adult who hosts radio stations, maybe he should be looking at last week when Georgia Southern came in and we broke a attendance record for Georgia Southern. So Matt, if you're listening, you should have done a little bit of research on that, because if you think that Kentucky is not going to be as well attended as Georgia Southern, and I think this might be homecoming too, you're going to be wrong on that. Also, Vaught-Hemingway can be as loud as any stadium in the country at certain points, maybe not all the time. So I think that anything that you give as bulletin board material to an 18-point underdog does not help the cause of your team. So that's just kind of what I would say. And late arrival, again, I'll give him maybe the student section a little late arrival, but all I know is
They won't be
a record-breaking crowd for Georgia Southern. It didn't matter. They were there. I was at the game. They were there for the kickoff, and it was absolutely packed.
Yeah, and I can just think about whenever he says not a difficult place to play and it's not very loud. I think of a game that you were in. That was Travis Johnson to the ball against LSU in 2003. That is as loud as I've ever heard any stadium, period.
Yeah. Again, there are moments where Vaught-Hemingway will be as loud as any stadium in the country. And when it's third down and the defense is pinning their ears back, it doesn't matter where you are. The Vaught is going to be as loud as pretty much as that stadium.